Welcome to Coffee TV. Today we're going to learn how to improve your CRV to make it from this to this. As you can see here, I've made a nice little modification to the back of my CRV. Essentially I had an argument with the next door neighbour's ute, and the next door neighbour's ute won. Hit the back of the ute, kind of broke off this piece here, also smashed up the light for the I can't even think of the words. That is a number plate. Let me do that again. I also smashed the light for the number plate light. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, so I've managed to go to Pick a Pet. I've gone to Pick Apart and managed to get another one of those and one of these as well. So I haven't found anywhere on the interweb of how you actually take these things off, although it's not that hard. So I'm going to show you. So luckily enough this thing still works, but yeah, normally I would have already had this loose. So yeah, you've got to flip the glass up first, because otherwise it won't open. And then you open him up. That's pretty good. Okay, a couple of things. Firstly, do my trousers up. Let's get that. Right, this comes off. So easy, you won't believe it. So, screwdriver. Now, a couple of things. Flat-bladed screwdriver. We take this little piece off here, which I've already got loose anyway. Look, there's something I prepared earlier. Ha ha ha. Right, so that comes off. Normally you'd have to flick your screwdriver underneath. You have two screws in here. We take that one off. That one and this one here. Done like I've done it. Okay, so those two are off. That's securely there. Two screws in here. One there, one there. Those two come out. You can tell I've already done this, don't you? But I suddenly thought it'd be really good to get a video of this, so let's do it. So, those two there off. Screws together. You literally lift it up. Normally you'd be going snap snap, but I've already snapped these out. They're just done, and you go up and off, and there we have it. The other quick thing I should tell you as well is that if you just want to get to the number plate light, you can flick this little panel up here, and that'll enable you to get into that number plate light and renew a light without having to take all of this off. Got it? Sweet. Excellent. Right. Pleasure doing business with you. Right. Now here, I'll show you. It's actually basically held on in four places. There's a nice little hole there. You need a long reach extension to get down to there, and it's about a 7.5mm bolt. Nut, I should say. Yeah, there we go. That's what it looks like. Now, if I put in here, you'll see there's one just here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those are our 4 bolts. So all we're going to do is undo those bolts, which I've already done. Remember to take those two screws off first, because they hold the whole thing in as well. And these bits should come off happily, and they won't. Of course. Oh, do I have to pop that out as well? That's interesting. So where is that? Oh, okay. That's a little plasticky poppy-outy thingy. Okay, so let's bring it back around here. Something like that, just to grab that and squeeze it in enough to pop it out. Let's just see if we can get that. Looks like it should just squeeze up, actually. Squeeze up, you little bastard. Nope. Doesn't want to do that. Does not want to play. does not want to play with us at all. I wonder if we have to flip it off from the other side of it. It's going to get a flat bladed on the other side of this. Why won't you play with me, you little bastard? Ooh, that doesn't sound so good. Oh, okay. There it is. Okay. So that's the replacement I've got. And I'm just going to give that a bit of a clean up first because I'm just a fussy little wuss, but no big deal. I just quite like things going on that are clean and tidy, so at least you know that it's all good from underneath. So as you can see, this is in slightly better nick than the other one was. A bit dirty, but I'm not really too bothered about that. I'm going to give that a bit of a clean up too, just because it's a bit kicky. But it's all in one piece and it's tidy, as opposed to that, which is not in one piece and is also not very tidy. See, I'm making this all up as I go along, and it's okay. Cool. Lovely jubbly. It is lovely then, eh? Lovely. Oh yes. Light in first. I actually stole the piece out of the back of it as well, which I didn't really need, but that's okay. So this is easy as well, because that literally has, let me see if I can get that in the right place so you can see it. Hello, come back. 2 screws. 1, 2. Take those off, and then that screws through from the outside. Lovely. Got it? Great. Crikey. Does look a bit sad, doesn't it? Wrong screwdriver. It's not a deliberate mistake. Here we go. Whoop. $1 million. Just because I'm a fussy what's-it, I'm going to give this a bit of a wipe down as well. But I need to take the bulb out of the back of this, or the fitting out of the back of it, which is by doing squeezing that whole thing up that way, and then just pulling out. If you want to, for those shits and giggles, all good. Wait, no. Hi, baby. I hope so.
Well, it says no, on here it says evidence of no current warrant of fitness.
Ooh. Okay, this was a little bit bent in as well, so it didn't seal nicely around there. So I spent a little bit of time just with a hammer and a dolly. Here's my dolly. It's a nice solid piece of steel. Put your dolly in behind it like that. And the idea is that you have your dolly sitting behind it and you're tapping the high spots. What happens is, as you're tapping the high spots, it's lowering the high spots and bringing the low spots out. That's kind of how it all kind of works. I'm no expert at that, but that's how I do it. Right, so now I reckon we're all good to go. So I'm just going to put this thing in. I'll just click it into there. The other thing I'm going to do, because it's not a perfect fit around there, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of RTV. You wouldn't normally do this, but because I have kind of crashed it a little bit and made it a little bit I am going to. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit around the top of it. I don't believe it's going to seal properly if we don't. It is just the proper RTV for around windshields and things like that, so it's nothing too nasty. It's also non-acidic, so that it doesn't eat into metal. Just kind of what we want. Come on, baby. It's really just that top edge I want to do. I'm not really that concerned about, well, I'll take a little bit around there, but it's more the top edge because that's where everything's coming from. That's where the water's coming from. Might do it down the sides just a little bit. We don't really need to worry too much about that. It's really just the top edge. I want to make sure that we get a reasonable seal there. Hopefully. The stuff is a bit flexible too, so hopefully That will work nicely for us. Cool. Alright, let's do that. Let's get that on. Let's get the screwdriver. And of course, I just need to find the screwdriver, which is right there. Come on, baby. Stay still. And of course it hasn't gone in. And now it has. Yay. Right. Do that. And we'll get this one in. It's really hard when you're trying to keep your head out of the way of the camera. So you're doing it blind, which is awesome. And of course, because I'm doing it blind, I'm not putting it in the hole, but I am now. Shoes have got in, that looks a bit shit, so I'm just going to go like that, make it look tidier. I don't know how much of this you're actually seeing, or whether or not it's even in focus. I hope that it is. This is kind of all coming off a bit too. It's all a bit loose there. I'm actually going to put just a little tiny bit of, it looks to me like it's had double-sided tapey type thing that used to hold it on. Alas, it no longer has that, so I'm going to give this a quick wipe, and then I'm going to glue that on, and then we're going to go and put it on. One or two of these things are a little bit broken, so if we look at this for a minute, we can see that that thing there is, if the bloody thing's actually going to view it up for us properly, broken off. So I'm putting a little bit of snot, gorilla snot in there just to see if I can hold it in place before we put it together. There's actually nothing for that to hold on to there as well. So same deal, I'll put a little tiny bit of RTV in there just to hold it in place. Right, so let's give this a bit of a go, shall we? I've also, this rubber thing's all coming off, so I'll put a little tiny bit of RTV just to stick it and get it sort of snug again, so it's all sitting flat rather than sliding off and looking really untidy. So that's method in my madness. Right. Alright, so over there, into that hole there, into that hole there, and there. That's popped into there and that's holding it in place. Lovely. Now I'm just going to do the opposite. Got to grab these little screws here and put them back on each four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's easier to line them up inside that, push them in and turn them, than it is to try and get your fingers in those really tiny little spaces. And a little nip up, they don't need to be that tight because they're pretty small and they will break easy. Little nip up on each one. Lovely. Oh, that won't work. Okay, just concentrate here because there's going to be a test soon. No pressure. Nice, no testing. Just kidding. But there could be. But there isn't. Beautiful. Okay. Here's the little clips. Those are the babies that hold it on at the top. And hence you've got to kind of turn it up, flip it up quite a distance, and then flip it over to get it on. Hey, let's get all that round. All that. Oh. Because that's what you do. You put all your tools around your knees so that when you get down on your knees they fly everywhere. That's what you do. Very nice indeed. Okay. Is that one in? Two screws. So if we go like that. So there it is. 3 kg max. Right, so we put that up and over and onto that. And that just clips in at the top and the bottom. So if we go in at the top and then just go snap. $1 million. And that's how we do it. Okay. You probably ought to put the stuff back in as well. But it should complete the job really. Right, let's complete that job. Pull my bloody trousers up. It's supposed to go on there like that somehow. Lovely. Pop that back in there. That somehow doesn't seem right. At least it is. Okay. Obviously it was made for something far bigger. And we job done. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful for some people. And possibly even entertained how badly I do these things. Excellent. Enjoy. See you on the next one.